You know what this week is. You know what this week is. You know what this week is. Florida week. Gator meat week. I hate Gators week. Any and everything about a Gator, I despise. Why? Because no matter how talented we are, no matter how much better we are, some way we still find a way to lose against the Gators. Now, the last couple of years, Josh Heupel has been able to beat the Gators twice, both at home, but he also has lost to them twice, both on the road. Understand something. The last time Tennessee actually won a road game in Gainesville at Ben Griffin Hill Stadium was 2003. And that was a 24-10 win on September 20th of 2003. Can the streak be broken this time? Can we finally get over the hump in Gainesville? Can we finally drain the swamp? Well, I guess this Saturday at 7:30 p.m. on ABC, I guess we're just going to have to find out. But in the meantime, I'm going to talk about that and a whole lot more. But before I do, please, please, please subscribe to the channel. Please, when you subscribe, hit the notification bell and hit all so you can receive all notifications from Just Shooting Sports. Follow, like, share, comment. Definitely comment, because this week we're ending the streak. Let's go.
Survive if I let you.
What's good, everybody? You know who this is. This your boy Blackout Jones. Where we at? Just Shooting the Sports. And you know, like I said at the top of the program, this is Gator Hate Week. This is Gator Meat Week. This is I Hate Everything Florida Week. Because it's very warranted, I might add. But anyway, we got a big game ahead of us. And I know Florida hasn't been Florida this year. Hell, they ain't been Florida since Billy Napier's been there. But regardless of that, this still is a rivalry. This is still a game that we must win. Because understand, down there in Gainesville, they're talking their shit. They're chirping. Why? Because they know it's a rivalry. Regardless of what their record is, their purpose this weekend is to beat us and embarrass us. And we cannot be beaten, and we should not be able to get ourselves embarrassed. Why? We got the better coaching staff. Hell, we got a coach. They don't. We got better talent. They don't. We got a better quarterback. They don't. Plain and simple. Now, their defense is better than ours. I will admit that. I will admit that. Their defense has definitely kept them in a lot of games, but of course their offense and their quarterback, who is ass, has messed it up for them. Now, on the flip side of that, our offense has been playing very well this season. It's just our defense has been letting us down, just like their offense has been letting them down. So, one of these got to give. We're either going to play at a higher level on defense, or they're going to play at a higher level on offense. Hell, who knows? We could have both this weekend. But this game is very important in so many ways. Why? Because I've been saying it, and I've been saying it for the last couple of videos, for the last couple of days, for the last couple of weeks. You losing Gainesville, don't even fucking come back to Knoxville. Leave your headsets on the sidelines and leave your uniforms in the locker room. It don't even make the bus. You horseback your way back to Knoxville. Because that, my friends, will be embarrassing. Which means you will drop to 7-4, which means you'll be out the top 25, whether it's the AP or the CFP. And there will be a lot of more questions being brought up about Josh Heupel and this coaching staff and possibly the state of the program. It shouldn't be that way, but we shouldn't be losing to Florida either. Not this Florida team. Not this Florida team. Early in the year, I was like, I don't know. We'll see, because we didn't know. You know, Florida's bringing back DJ Lagway. They ended the season on a high note. I'm thinking, hey, they might be a different animal this year. We had concerns. We had question marks. We didn't know what our quarterback situation was going to look like. We didn't know if our wide receivers were going to, show up and ball out like they have been doing this season. We didn't know what our offensive line was going to look like. And we sure as hell didn't know what the defense was going to look like with Javon McCoy out for the season and bringing in Colton Hood. And then after Ricky Gibson got hurt, we really was like, we don't know. Now that we've played many weeks of football this season, my thoughts are this. We should beat Florida. We should beat them. In my mind, it should be easy. But we should be able to handle business in Gainesville. And yeah, it's 7:30. Me, personally, I don't like 7:30 games. I don't know what it is about Tennessee and 7:30 games. I just don't like it. I just don't like it. Maybe that's PTSD. I don't know. But it's just something about that night game for us, man. It just don't work out. Hopefully that changes this weekend. So let's go ahead and get to the stats right now. So Joey Aguilar, we already know. He's passing almost 3,000 yards. He's at 2,941 yards with 22 touchdowns and 10 interceptions. The first quarterback in Josh Heupel's tenure to not only throw over 5 interceptions, but to throw double-digit picks. Some of them was his fault. Lately, majority of them have been his fault. Now, previously, no, not so much. Deshaun Bishop, 770 yards rushing, 10 touchdowns. Brazel, 873 yards receiving with 8 touchdowns. Bailey, 5.5 sacks, 5.5 sacks, And Spillman has 65 tackles. On the flip side of that, DJ Assway, he has 1,980 yards, 12 touchdowns with 13 INTs. Wow, looking like Jameis Winston out there, my boy. Ball, the running back, 808 yards rushing, 6 touchdowns. Now, he is a key factor. He is a beast. He is a grown man. He's only a sophomore, but he runs with grown man intentions. We definitely have to be better in the run game against that guy, because when I tell you he runs over you, he will run over you, and he will break tackles with the greatest of ease. So we definitely got to be locked in on ball. No question. We cannot let DJ Lagway get off, because that's just not what he does. And he hasn't been doing it this season. So we got to play smart. We got to play in our gaps. We got to be disciplined. We got to know our assignments. Don't overrun him. Don't do none of those things. Keep him in the pocket and let him embarrass himself. Let him turn the ball over. Get a little bit of rush if you can. Tim Banks, be very exotic and confuse him, because as we have seen this season, he has not been doing well. Look, he played against a Kentucky team and threw 3 picks. And Kentucky mollywopped him, a team that we whooped out. Understand something, it's the same guy that played against LSU and threw 5 picks. And that's who he has been. He is not that good. He's just not. So we can't make him a superstar this weekend. We can't make him look like a Heisman hopeful. We got to stay disciplined. We got to play great defense. On to the next. Vernon Brown the third, 473 yards. Hell, I don't even think the boy got touchdowns. Well, whatever, but he is a key factor. They do have good wide receivers. I'll give them that. James, 3.5 sacks, 3.5 sacks, and then Graham, the linebacker, with 60 tackles. Their defense is top notch, I will say. They play very well and they play great, but the offense just lets them down each and every time. Now, let's compare our stats, the team stats, against theirs. The Florida offense, overall, they have 339.5 yards per game, which is 108th in the FBS. They don't do too well. Passing, 81st, with 217.1 yards per game. Rushing, 122.4 yards per game. And they're 105th in the nation. And they only average 20.8 points per game, which is 113th. So offensively, they are not that good whatsoever. Now, the defense, they only give up 366.3 yards per game, but they're 64th in the FBS, which is way better than what we looking like. Passing, they give up 223.1 yards per game, and they're 75th. Rushing, 143.2 yards per game. They're 58th in the nation. And then scoring, they allow 23.6 per game, and they're 62nd in the nation. Now, you compare the Tennessee offense to their offense, we're second in the FBS for total yards, 495. Passing, we're third with 318.3 yards per game. Rushing, we're 176.7 yards per game. We're 43rd. And scoring, we're 43.4 points per game, and we're second in the nation. You'll think we undefeated with those stats, wouldn't you? Yeah, until you get to here. Defense, overall, 390.3 yards per game, 87th in the FBS. We got a lot better than what it was, but not good enough. Passing, we're giving up 260.7 yards per game, which is 117th in the nation. Rushing, we're giving up 129.6, which is 41st in the nation, which is not bad. And scoring, we're giving up 28.9 points per game, which is 96th in the nation. Well, it's crazy because we're giving up 28.9, but we're averaging 43.4 points per game. You'll think that's a winning recipe. Yeah, you will hope, but things happen. Now, Florida is 97th defensive third down percentage. They allow opponents to convert 41.7% of the time. Tennessee ranks 27th on offense, converting almost 50%. Florida ranks 89th in the FBS with a -2 turnover margin compared to Tennessee's 32nd ranked +4 margin. We do get the ball, I will say that. Tennessee is 85th in the FBS, averaging 58.2 penalty yards per game compared to Florida's 32nd ranked 44.9 per game average. And Tennessee is 122nd. And this is where it gets crazy. 122nd in the FBS in red zone defense, allowing opponents to score on 91.2% of their trips. Florida's red zone offense ranks 11th, scoring on 93.3% of red zone opportunities. So, got to keep them out the red zone. Now, Tennessee, of course, average time of possession, we're going to be in last. Why? Because we just go, and go. Now, Florida, they're 71st, and they average around 29 minutes and 50 seconds. We average 26 minutes and 48 seconds. So, with all that being said, man, this is a game that we must win. This is a game that we cannot get embarrassed whatsoever. The Boo Carter situation need to be out of your minds. It's over with. It's done. And I know I haven't talked about Boo Carter. Probably won't talk about Boo Carter until I get all the facts and possibly some inside information because of who I know. I don't want to go out there and say things that may or may not be true. You want to make sure you have all your facts. You want to make sure that you can what they say, dot your I's and cross your T's. I want to be as informative as I can so I can give y'all the best information possible. So I'll get to the Boo Carter interview, the Boo Carter episode. You never know. Hey, might be able to get an interview with Boo Carter. May have to wait and see. But anyway, enough of that. So what are y'all thoughts? I would love to hear y'all comments. What is your prediction of this game? Me personally, I think it will be 30 21 Tennessee. 9-point win in the 10-game losing streak, and get out of here and get ready for Vanderbilt next week, which is going to be another very important game that also we must win. But anyway, you know who I am. This your boy, Blackout Jones. You know where we at, Just Shooting the Sports. Anytime when I talk about that power T, and anytime when I talk about that little T right there, you know what it is. Go Big Orange and go effing Vols. Let's get it.